Come to sitting on your mat. Welcome to your practice today. Take a moment to set a sankalpa or an intention for yourself, for your practice, for your week, or whatever feels appropriate length of time for you. And then dropping your sit bones down, connecting with the floor, with the ground, with whatever you're sitting on, and allowing that softness to hold you. So a little bit of thought and recognition for the space under you, the space around you, and that's all of the space around you and the space above you. So in our practice today, we're going to be moving, we're going to be breathing, we're going to be stretching, we're going to be strengthening, all those gloriously wonderful things. But we're also going to be building that connection within ourselves, mind, body, spirit. And we're going to be building that lovely cocoon of calm and strength and peace around ourselves. So pop yourselves on mute if you're not already. And then think about the spine, your lovely, beautiful, gorgeous, gleaming spine, pelvis settled and steady, a bit of softness in the thighs, in the feet. Maybe changing the cross of your legs, going to the slightly less comfortable or less automatic work side. And then from here, thinking about as if you were in sections. So this lovely lower section here for the very important things, lots of hormonal building and balance and stability in your pelvic region, lots of waste disposal units, lots of enjoyment section. It's all going on down here in the pelvis. So really, really important part of the body. And it's also where we have our connection to the rest of the world. In chakra terms, it's the root chakra. So it's our balance, it's our home, it's our base, it's our space from which we start and go on. So here we are, settling. And then from there, lifting up, and we're around the middle here, into that whole digestive section. Again, kidneys, liver, spleen, lots of immunity, lots of building and feeding the system. And then we're up into the heart. So give yourself that length in the sides. Think about lengthening, sending your armpits a little higher up towards the ceiling, but without taking your shoulders up towards the ceiling. So we're not scrunching up, we're relaxing the shoulders, but giving ourselves that length. At the same time, trying to keep that softness in the legs, all a compromise the whole time. And starting to be conscious of the breath coming and going, inhaling through your nostrils and exhaling through your mouth. So we're into the heart center, feeling as if you have some expansiveness here, some room to take a breath, to grow, to use up that space. We forget to use the space, I think, in everyday life because we're so busy, and a lot of what we do is very forward-facing, inward-facing, curling, and that can make strong emotions feel much tighter and stronger. So let's let go of some of those and open and release and find that openness and softness, relaxing the arms, relaxing the sternum, but still giving yourself that little bit of lift. So taking the sternum a little higher, but it's not just the sternum. Think about the whole of the inside section of this part of your body and lifting the whole lot up together. It's like you're sending your heart slightly up higher towards the sky. And then a little bit of a lift in the chin, giving yourself that space. Here we are, communication, our connection, our way of interacting with the world. And then we're up to the head and the back of the neck. So a smile, if you feel like a smile, smile anyway, even if you don't feel like a smile. And then crown of the head lifting up. So close your eyes, inhaling through your nostrils only now, and exhaling through your mouth. So slowing down the inhale, but slowing down the exhale even further, softening through your elbows, your hands. And to start with, slightly exaggerating the movement in your torso and your body with the breath. So as you breathe in, maybe lifting your shoulders a little, flaring your ribs, giving yourself some length in the back. And as you exhale, softening and maybe sliding everything back down, shoulder blades coming down towards your hips. Everything letting go and being loose and easy and soft. And then that huge exhale when you're ready. So filling up fully, emptying fully. With the out breath, just gently pursing your lips as if you were blowing a feather across a really long, shiny table. And you're trying to get that feather to move consistently right from the beginning of the breath all the way through to the end. And it gets to just right at the end of the table. And then you focus on taking that breath in, taking it down to your belly. Your focus is on your belly, your chest, the sides of your body, the back of your body, your throat and neck. And then when you come back to that out breath, when you're ready, it's pursed lips and blowing that feather all the way down to the end of the table without letting it judder and shake, just smoothly gliding away. So going at your own pace. And then we'll take 3 of these lovely, beautiful feather breaths together. So exhale to start wherever you are. Inhaling through your nostrils. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then bring your eyes gently open, and throughout your practice today, try to maintain that nice long breath. Now to keep the right leg in, let's take the left leg in, right leg out. Although, as you know, it doesn't really matter which way you go first. So here we are with this extended leg, toes are up towards the ceiling, and there's just a little bit of pushing down into the heel, a little bit of feeling that stretch in the knee. Is it underneath? Is it on the inside? Where are you feeling that? And then noticing whether you can take this leg out a little further or whether you need to bring it in a little closer, doing what works for you. And we're tucking this bent leg, I'm going to call it the left leg, in quite nice and tightly, and trying to get as much of both legs actually onto the mat. Nice connection, feeling the bottom of your legs onto the mat. And then noticing your sit bones and noticing whether you are leaning off to the side, quite a natural want, but bring it back. Find yourself level and drop your weight down through your sit bones. So adjusting that leg to wherever it needs to be. And then we're just going to take the right hand to the right leg, stay up nice and tall, and right ear comes to right shoulder. So if you hold on to your left knee, just gently tucking your fingers around, and then you really reach your head over to the right side, you'll get the most beautiful stretch down the left side of your neck, maybe even into your upper arm, maybe into your elbow. Not much movement in the torso, just the head. And then coming back up to center, and then we're going to slide the right hand down the right leg, releasing with the left, keeping it resting on your left knee. And then we've taken that stretch down around the left hip. It's going to be one of those days. Keep your toes up towards the ceiling, so we're extending through the back of the leg. And don't worry about how far your arm comes down. It might be that your elbow's to your knee. It might not. It doesn't matter. What I'd like you to look out for, though, is not to tip forward, because if you tip forward, you lose all that water stretch there. It might feel a lot easier to bend further along, but that's not really what we're looking for. So if you feel like you've tipped forward, come back out and then lift your crown of the head up towards the ceiling and then come over to the side. And you might be surprised at how little movement you have, but it's not about how much movement you have, it's about finding that nice stretch around the left hip. And then again, we've also got some squeezing happening in the right, helping you fold over a little. If it's appropriate for you and you want to intensify the stretch, then your left arm can join in with a gentle little push to the side. Keep breathing, nice in and out, steady, and then coming back up, just settling there for a moment, taking your hands either side of your extended leg and walking them forwards. As much as possible, your torso is over your thigh, extended thigh. And then coming back up again, taking the right hand to the right leg again. We are sliding back. So again, exactly what you did before. So not leaning forward, not leaning backwards, just coming over the side. And then we're extending that left leg. Left leg! Oh my goodness, leave the left leg where it is. Left arm reaching up towards the ceiling. And there we get that nice stretch under the arm and on the top of the upper arm. Actually not, well, both top and the bottom. So breathe. Lovely, lean over to the side. And then reaching up to come out. And let's swap those legs around. Right leg in, left leg out, if that's the way it is for you for today. And then just take a moment to settle. So we're always a little different in the hips, in the groin, depending on what we do, depending on how we live, depending on our habits of how we hold our body, or what we've been doing. Maybe you had a massive workout in the gym yesterday or something, and you might be feeling it. So just allowing that settling to happen, pushing the knees down, stretching, toes up towards the ceiling, torso lifted, crown of the head up towards the ceiling. And then we're just going to gently take the left ear to the left shoulder. So we're incorporating our head and neck deep stretches into one of our leggy asanas. Comboing today. Remembering that nice deep breath in and out. Maybe taking your attention back to your sankalpa. It's almost like you get it out of the cupboard and you look at it and you go, oh, does this still fit me? Does this still sing to me? Or do I need to tweak it a little bit? Do I need to put it back and get something else out? And your sankalpa shouldn't, I don't think, be set in stone. I think you can see what comes up. Learn to trust your intuition. And then coming back up with the head, easing off that stretch, and then sliding over. So just as we did on the other side. Just checking that that right shoulder isn't folding forwards. That we've got a little bit of a squeeze going on the left side, opening up in the right. Toes to the ceiling on the extended leg. And noticing what comes up for you. Sometimes, especially with these really big hip openers and stretches, we can suddenly get these waves of irritation. And it might feel like it's irritation with our ability or inability or whatever it is, the way we articulate it to ourselves. to stretch, to move, frustration with the body, feeling of boredom perhaps, holding the pose too long. Just try and sit with those feelings if they come up. Let them out, almost like a doorway to other feelings being held in the hips. Coming up. Settle for a moment, and then let's turn over to the side. So you really need to use your hands here to twist your torso a little. Think about sliding your ribs around, and then as much as works for you, folding forward. If your right hip starts floating off the mat, then maybe ease off a little, or maybe plonk it back down on the mat. Just checking in with your lower back, hip, maybe the ribs on the right side. Where are you feeling this? And allowing those muscles to soften and ease. And then coming away, gently pushing yourself up with your arms, coming back to center, and then left arm down the left leg again, a little slide over to the left, and then we're extending the right arm. Inhaling through your nostrils, exhaling nostrils or mouth. And then lifting up, coming out, bringing the feet together, soles of the feet together, Baddha Konasana, and let's make that a moving Baddha Konasana. So knees either waving out to the sides or winging out to the sides and moving, turning it into a butterfly. And then we're going to come over onto all fours and into our tabletop position. So moving over, however works for you. Making sure that you've got enough padding under your knees, making sure that your wrists are under your shoulders. And then let's make fists into the floor. So as if you're just lifting yourself up as high as possible in your mid-back, in your upper back, by pushing your knuckles, your fingers into the floor in fists. And then coming back down, taking your right hand to the mat, use your right hand and arm to support you, turning your left hand so the top of your hand comes onto the mat. Okay, so no pressure, no weight into the left hand. All that weight and pressure is on your right. You're supporting yourself, and we're just turning the hand so that the palm is facing upwards and the back of your hand is flat to the floor. So a nice little stretch, the back of the wrist. Trying not to collapse into that right shoulder, lifting the mid-back away from the floor, and then release. Bring that left wrist down. Give it a moment just to settle, and then take the right hand and tip it the other way around. So the top of your hand is on the floor, the palm is facing upwards, your thumb is pointing towards your other thumb. And again, we're not putting weight onto this arm, we're just gently pressing into where it feels good and you feel like you've got that lovely stretch. So hands, quite neglected really, we don't give them any attention, but we use them so much they kind of get a natural workout all day long anyway. Feet is another story. So let's release that hand now and tuck the toes under. Tuck them under as far as you can. So it might be that you lift your foot up and then when you put your foot down and lift up and the knee up and then place your foot down. So you want the toes to be on the floor, but also touching into the tops of the pads of the feet if you can. And then pushing back nice and slow. So use that strength in your arms, pushing yourself back, pushing against that pushback with the feet. Stay here for a moment. Then releasing off, going beyond the midline, more into the wrists. Make sure that your arms are nice and straight here, long in your arms. Toes are still tucked under. Let's just leave them there for the moment. And then pushing back again. This time walking the hands back towards your knees and lifting your knees off the floor. Keeping up that nice high toe to the floor posture. Heels are off, and then bringing yourself up into a squat. Your squat is with your, how to word this? Your squat is as high as you can possibly make it. And then if you can, turn it into a balanced posture. So we're just up on toes, and your toes are having to kind of grip and let go and balance and change, and right foot, left foot, forwards and backwards. Heels are up as high as you can get them. That's it. That's how you word it. Heels are up as high as you can get them. No rounding in the back, straight in the back. Use your arms and hands for balance if you need to. Otherwise, holding here. You might start to notice that in your calves, in your ankles. And then we're going to take the hands back down to the mat and walk forwards. Bring your knees back to the mat, and we're back into tabletop position. Taking your feet flat to the floor now, sitting back on your heels and lifting your knees off the floor. If that works for you, you might need to get your feet quite close together to get that stretch in the front of the feet. So now we're doing pretty much what we did for the wrists. We're doing that strange stretch that we don't normally do, where we're just pulling around the front of the ankle and then coming off back to that tabletop position. And we're moving away from wrists and heels and ankles. You might be pleased to hear. And we're going to move into working the spine a little here. So cat, cow, Chakravakasana. Really enjoy this one today. Taking your belly down, lifting your head up, hips up. And then a big exhale. Curling round, tucking in tight. Big slow inhale, belly down. Big exhale. Your back is a hill. Big inhale, your back is a bowl. And go at your own pace now. Close your eyes if you'd like to. 5 rounds. Think about articulating your entire spine from your sacrum, from your coccyx to the back of your neck. Turning your sit bone, the right round, and then right up. Stretching through the front of your neck, and then stretching through the back of your neck. I've completely lost count, but I think we might be on about 4. So go that little tiny bit further, articulating the entire spine. And well done. When you've finished, bringing your toes together, taking your knees out almost to the sides of the mat, maybe even beyond. Gently lowering yourself back. Use a cushion if you need to under your hips. Otherwise, sliding your arms forward, bringing your forehead to the mat or towards the mat. Use a block or a pillow if you can't quite reach the mat with your head. Stretching your arms out away from you. That lovely, lovely opening up under the arms. Maybe even walk your fingers forwards. There you go. Did you get a bit more space? A bit more of a sensation of opening the shoulder blades, opening up under the arms. Oh, and just try and soften into that posture. Soft in the neck, in your face. Relax your cheeks. And then coming up, tucking your toes under, coming into downward facing dog. So hips are up towards the sky, pushing the floor away. Shoulders are wide, head and neck completely at rest. Heels moving down towards the mat. Belly button tucked towards your spine. Remembering to breathe. Bringing to mind your intention for your practice today, your sankalpa. Taking your attention to your calves and the backs of your knees. If you don't have any stretch going on there, finding that stretch. Maybe it's tilting your sit bones up to the ceiling a little more. Maybe it's the heels moving down to the mat or pressing into the mat. Maybe lifting your toes off a little. Strong in your elbows, in your wrists, pushing the floor away. And here, soften through the whole of the back of the head, the face, the neck. Allowing your eyes to be closed if that works for you. Breathing in through your nostrils, out through your mouth. And then looking forwards to your hands, bringing yourself slowly into that lovely plank. You might need to walk your feet or slide your feet a little further back and push the floor away. So we're nice and strong across the top of the back, upper arms. And we're going to come into a low arm plank from here. If you can come to a low arm plank with just taking your arms to the mat, go ahead and do that. If you need to bring your body down and then come back up again, then do that. So elbows pressing into the floor, forearms pressing into the floor. And then bringing your right hand towards your left elbow and turning into a side plank. So Vashisthasana, low side plank. Stacking your feet one on top of the other. Squeezing your glutes or putting your feet apart from each other gives you more balance. On top of each other, a little harder to balance. Trying to keep your body in line. Lifting your left arm up towards the ceiling. And then let's swap round. Let's take the left arm down. And right arm comes up. Hand is either flat to the floor or in a fist, whatever feels right. Keeping the body long and strong and not curling the body. Bringing yourself back, both forearms to the mat. Stay in low plank for a moment. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees coming to the mat, hips to the mat. Bringing yourself into Makara. One arm on top of the other. Forehead resting on that forearm pillow. And breathe. Okay, putting your hands either side of your chest now, pressing your palms into the floor, elbows are back, looking forwards. So looking forwards, no real pressure into the hands. And then taking a little bit of attention to your feet, pressing the tops of your feet into the floor. Feel that engagement through your legs, engage your calves, knees, thighs, glutes, lower back, mid back, upper back, peeling away as if you were just rolling those muscles together in the back of your body. Hold, 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 breathe, and release. Coming back down. This time, take your right cheek to the mat and take your arms out behind you. And then flat to the floor with your palms facing upwards. Here we've got that nice turn in the head, softly stretching through the neck. Relax your left shoulder, relax your right shoulder. And breathe. One more deep, slow breath in here, out here. Bringing your hands back, taking your chin to the floor, looking forwards, elbows tucked in, and then pressure into the tops of your feet, engaging the legs, engaging the glutes, curling the muscles in your back to lift yourself off the mat. Think about taking your shoulder blades together, remembering to keep breathing, relax your face and jaw. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Can you lift a little higher? Just using the muscles in the back of your body. Short, sharp breaths if you need them. And then release. Coming back down to the mat. Take your left cheek to the mat or left temple. Stretching your arms out beside you. Palms facing upwards. Soften through your upper arms. Let your arms relax. They will bow maybe out to the sides. Let them be soft and at peace. Do the same with your legs. If your heels need to drop out or drop in, let them go. No tension in the body whatsoever. In yoga practice, I think one of the most beautiful things is to practice that tension and relaxation, tension and relaxation. Being able to drop quickly down into a state of peace and calm in the body. Training the body to come out of stressful situations and not hold on to that stress. And then bringing the heels back. Lifting the chin again and looking forwards. This time we're going to come into Bhujangasana one more time. Elbows pointing backwards, hands flat to the floor. Unpeeling, uncurling. Using the same system as you did before, but then also bringing the arms in when you're ready and taking that pressure up into the arms. Dropping the shoulders. Sending the sternum forward, lots of movement in the front of the body here, lots of opening up. At the same time, nice compression in the back, so squeeze those glutes. Flatten the fronts of your thighs to the mat. Lift your chin a little. Open your shoulders. Remember to breathe, maybe not so deeply here, but consistently. Holding in your Bhujangasana, engage your legs. And then uncurling very slowly. Use your arms. Nice and slow. All the way down. Slow, 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 slow. Tucking the toes under, bringing yourself up and round into Balasana. Bringing your knees under the body. And then sending your hips all the way back. That will undo any tension in the lower back, and then placing your body over your thighs, bringing your forehead down to the mat. And up to you what you do with your arms, whether you want to stretch them out in front of you or whether you want to soften through the shoulders and have your arms either side. Do what works. Noticing your breathing. settling and easing through the breath. Letting go of any tension around the top or the back of your neck. A lovely counter pose for the cobras, the 3 cobras that we've just been practicing. And then coming up, taking the hands flat to the floor, bringing yourself up into tabletop position. So taking your knees a little further away from each other. Nice little quick thread the needle. So pressing your left hand into the floor, right hand comes off. Send your right arm through the gap and then bring yourself down to the mat into resting on that right shoulder. Now, thread the needle is used in Pilates, it is used in just general gym classes. So do what works for you. Do the version that you know you love. Maybe keep your hips level if you can. It might be that you want to lift that left arm up, open up a little. Maybe it's a better feeling for you to have your left hand to the mat. Do what works for you. I really like, aside from all the stretching this does, I really like the compression in the top, under the arm, around the lymph. I think that's a really good thing to be doing to the lymph. And then coming back down, pushing in and lifting up. Just settle here for a moment. Notice that sensation in your right arm, maybe a sense of coolness. A nice flushing, and then coming with the left hand off now, right hand steady, left arm threaded through, and exactly the same on this side as you did on the other side. If you know your shoulders have a tendency to not be entirely happy 100% of the time, you will know what to do to honor what is. Don't push against what is, just gently encourage. And stop when your body's had enough. So here we got that lovely compression again, lifting the right arm up if that's appropriate for you. Or maybe just pushing into the floor. Maybe you'll get more twist that way. Do what works for you. And then taking the right hand to the mat, coming out. And again, just a moment. Noticing how your arms feel. And then tucking your toes under, we're coming back into downward facing dog. So nice big lift of the hips, coming up into your down dog. Heels to the mat. Fingers to the mat too, not just relying on your poor old wrists the entire time. Whole hand can take part here. Push the floor away, shoulders wide, hips up, lengthen through the back of your legs. And relax your head and neck. Soften, soften, soften through features of your face, through the top of your chest, and breathe. Now here we are back into being able to breathe freely. So deep breaths right down into your belly, into the sides of your body, into your back, and long, slow exhalations. See how long and slow you can make each exhalation. And then looking at your hands, you're going to take that right foot off, so tilt over to the side a little. Right leg goes out behind you, and then we're going to come forward into pigeon. Long time no pigeon. So here we go. Right knee to right hand, left foot in direction of left hand, and then sliding that left knee back. If you need to go and get a cushion or something underneath your right thigh, the bent leg, then do that so that you can rest that thigh, so you can really just let go into this posture. Now you have choices here. You're up on your hands. You can bring yourself a little higher up if you wish, if that works for you. I like to rest my right hand on my right knee, my left hand on my right foot even. So up high, or taking your elbows to the mat, or taking your forehead to the mat. So 4 choices and anywhere in between. You might want to cycle through them, or you might want to just find one and just find a little peace and quiet there. What we're looking for here is to be able to let go of any tension in the left leg. The left foot is relaxed, the left knee, the left thigh, the right hip, the right knee, the right ankle. Don't worry about the angle of your lower leg. You can extend it out, as in the foot going closer towards the left arm, left elbow, if your arms are on the floor, or keep your foot tucked in. It will depend on your knee, and we don't fight against what is in the knee. So adjust the angle of your lower leg to suit the sensations in your right knee. Again, watching out for what feelings come up for you. This is a big posture and it involves the hips. Watch that internal voice. Is it kind? Is it gentle? Is it encouraging? Is it forgiving and accepting? Is it encouraging you with love and compassion? If it's not doing those things, then see what little tweaks you can make to bring some of that into that internal voice. And then taking your hands to the mat, taking your time to press into your arms, taking your left toes to the mat, extending that left leg, and then slowly sliding the right leg out to join, and holding here in plank for a moment. Bringing yourself up into downward facing dog again. Quickly into your full expression of down dog. And then looking forward, taking the left leg up and back, and then bending the knee, bringing that left leg forward, taking the right knee to the mat and sliding the right leg out, bringing the left thigh either to a cushion or a book or a block or down to the mat. And again, whatever you did on the other side, if it works, do the same on this side. If it doesn't work, because in an ideal world, we're completely balanced left and right. In the real world, we don't live like that. So we're not. So notice what works best for you and come into that version. Maybe try them all or go straight to one or the other. And again here, that little looking for softening in the left knee, the left ankle, the left toes, the left hip. Feeling those huge muscles moving against each other, settling, pulling into the tendons. Ligaments,
bones twisting, everything moving very gently. Relaxing the right leg, right ankle, right lower leg, right knee, right thigh, right hip. Softening through your belly. Where are you holding on to tension here? Is it in your shoulders, your jaw, your belly, your hips? See if you can find it and let go. Remembering to breathe slowly, deeply. Bringing to mind your sankalpa, your intention for yourself. Your sankalpa is not a to-do list. It's not a, I must get better at this list. It's not a stick for you to wave at yourself. It is just letting the universe know, the universe that has your back, what it is that you think you would like more of. And after my Reiki experiences, I always add the line, if it is appropriate, because sometimes I think I want or need things, and actually they're not things I need. So that asking and then saying, but you know better than me, let me have what it is you think is best for me at this time in my life. And softening through that right hip, left hip, and gently bringing yourself back up. Taking a moment to slowly untwist yourself from this pigeon. Legs out behind you. I love that sensation of the difference in temperature in the legs, the arms, when you've had that huge compression. And then bringing your thighs in, gently curling over, bringing yourself into balasana, arms extended out in front of you. Bringing yourself up to sitting, nice and slow. Bring your legs around into Dandasana. Give yourself some space. And then we're going to be lying back down. However works for you. Either sliding down, coming down in boat, gently rolling over and coming down. And then taking your feet flat to the floor, we're lifting up into Setu Bandhasana, bridge posture. Lift your hips. And this should hopefully feel absolutely magical after that pigeon. Or those two pigeons, not one, but two pigeons. One bridge, two pigeons. Two pigeons not on the bridge. Lifting up, pushing the soles of your feet into the floor, squeezing your glutes. And then slowly lowering, keeping your back flat and straight, using your thighs, using your hips, lowering down. We're not uncurling, we're just lowering the whole back down to the floor, as straight as a board. Bringing your knees into your chest when you're ready. And here we have a rock from side to side, taking your arms out in a T, or maybe just taking your hands to your ears, so the elbows out to the side and your knees over to the right. Final spinal twist, so take your head over to the opposite side. Well done. Well done for all that you could do, all that you tried to do, all that your body happily did, all that your body didn't quite so happily do, and all that you decided not to do is also to be celebrated. That self-awareness of what does and doesn't work for you. Bringing your head back to center, bringing your knees back across the center, over to the opposite side. Final spinal twist on the other side. Oh, lovely stretch. And then coming back to center, give yourself a squeeze, a nice big hug. And release. Bring yourself into Shavasana. Take up some space. Keep your eyes closed. Find the feeling of the floor underneath you, the ground supporting you, and dropping quickly down into that state of deep rest and calm and relaxation. Everything you've done up to this point has been bringing you to this space where that gentle movement within your body is more efficient, is more fluid, is more harmonious. Everything is working, everything is open, everything is fed and nourished. All your cells are happy. Take a deep breath in to the back of your head and send it down through the whole of the back of your body where it touches the floor. Right down to your elbows, your hands, your heels. And as you exhale, a sense of letting go, with a sense of expansiveness with that letting go. Breathing in and out slowly, deeply, fully, utilizing all the space you have to breathe. And knowing that you are who you are meant to be. You are where you are meant to be. And you are doing the best you can with the tools you have right in this moment. With gratitude for the past and all the experiences. With contentment with the present and with joy and excitement for the future. Taking a deep breath in. Send that breath all along the front of the body, where you have the sensation of air against your skin. As you breathe out, letting any tension, any things you're carrying just out of habit, to just float away. Taking a deep breath in. Imagine that space that you've made around yourself. That warm, loving, deeply connected space. And when you're ready, keeping the breath going easily in and out, keeping your eyes closed, gently coming to lie on your right side. When you're ready, keeping that space, keeping your eyes closed, gently coming up to sitting. Bringing your hands to heart center. Taking a moment to feel your right hand with your left with your right. Feel that warmth, feel that strength. With an in-breath, And an out breath, taking your forehead down towards your fingertips. With an in breath. With an out breath, gently opening your eyes. With an in breath. With an out breath, gently bringing your head back to center. And namaste. Thank you for joining me on the mat. Thank you for joining yourself on the mat, mind, body, and spirit. Hopefully, in one harmonious, beautiful place and space. And have a gorgeous day.